Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Sandy Carter. I am the COO at a company called Unstoppable Domains, which is a digital identity platform built on blockchain and AI. And I'm the author of a book. Oh, it's up here. That's right. I forgot. I saw it right there. It's called AI First, Human Always. I've been doing AI since 2013. I actually just spoke to my daughter's class and I had one of the 17-year boys raise his hand and he said, Miss Carter, ChatGPT wasn't out in 2013. You couldn't have been doing AI back then,
Uh,
which I thought was quite interesting. And so what I was hoping that I might be able to do today is to walk you through some of the work I've been doing with companies around how they are including AI as a teammate. I'm going to go through a little bit of material at the beginning, and then I'll jump right into some of the org charts and that sort of thing too. So just be patient with me for a minute. I just want to make sure that everybody is at the same level if I could. So I always start out with a story. I have two daughters, like I just told you. One of my daughters is 17. But our tradition is every Sunday morning we make pancakes together. And so one day my daughters came to me and they brought me this picture and they said, Mom, can you make us this pancake? And I looked at that pancake and I was like, of course I can make you that pancake. And this is the pancake I ended up making. I'm sure you guys are probably laughing because it's nothing like the perfect picture that my daughter presented to me, but it was edible. My daughters posted it on Instagram, much to my chagrin, and they loved it. They thought it was like the best thing ever. And why do I tell you that story here is that when everybody talks about AI, they talk about it like it's this beautiful picture on the left, the perfect pancake. But when in reality, where AI is today, it's what the picture looks like on the right. It still has some issues, still has some things. So as we walk through, just know that not everything is perfect overall for anybody yet. But I'm hopefully going to show you some things that you can do to try out and experiment so that you can leverage AI in your businesses too. So I wanted to start here with just AI agent maturity because we're going to talk about AI agents as employees. You guys have probably already started using chatbots or using some sort of ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, something, just to ask questions of. You've also probably started using some intelligent assistants, like asking questions and having not just an answer given, but maybe some new ideas or that sort of thing. But where we see agents going are to perform specific tasks for you. So tasks that you can tell it, go and list out these 12, these 12 tables for me, or go and do, tell me how I plan my vacation. Then there's also process agents where you'll see you're going to use it for a particular process in your company. So a lot more sophisticated. And then, of course, where we want to go is systems of agents or swarms of agents. For example, today I was with a company who's developed a swarm of agents to help you trade better. So he's got like a brain, he's got a risk management agent, he's got a gather information agent, and assess the information agent, and then an agent that says, how do you want me to optimize your trades? Do you want me to do it based on minimizing risk or maximizing revenue, that sort of thing? And all those agents are working together and feeding information to each other. So this is how I view the kind of the maturity level of agents that are out there today. So I wanted to tell you about one of the agents that I'm using today that I think is kind of a process agent right beyond that task agent, which is for my company called Unstoppable Domains. We have created a customer support agent, and that customer support agent now answers about 32% of my questions. So why did I create this agent? I trained it on all the data of how my support team answers questions. The reason we did it is we are a unicorn startup. We now have 4.5 million customers operating 24/7. My team isn't that big, so I wanted to level up. I knew what the process was. I knew what the workflow was. And I had been collecting data in Freshdesk. So I had data to train it. So we were able to train that agent. And we'll talk about those elements. I also had a goal. My goal wasn't to have everything supported, but my goal was to fill in the gaps when I had no customer service reps available and to answer the low-hanging fruit, the questions that would be executed time and time again. And so this particular agent now has helped us increase our net promoter score by 10 points. So not only is it answering 32% of my questions, which is where I'm going to stop it right now, but it's also raised the net promoter score as well. So this is an example of an agent that's working in my enterprise today, really driving that customer support. So I did want to talk about the kind of the change that's going on today as well, that we're seeing really broad. And today I also talked to Walmart about some of the work they're doing here. So what we're seeing now, when I was trained, when I went to school, it was all about B2B, business to business, B2C, business to consumer. But the future is really about A to A, agent to agent, or business to agent, or person to agent. There's all these agents that are popping up now, most recently. And I'm a visual learner. So I'd like to just kind of walk you through what this looks like. I'm going to use a travel example. I know some people say that travel's used a lot, but I think it's a good example because it isn't really an easy process. It's really a hard process, which is why I try to always delegate it to my husband to plan our vacations. So if you look at this today, if you're going to plan your vacation out for your family, you need to find flights. You might call multiple airlines, or you might just go to Expedia. You're going to talk about how much you want to pay for it, what class of service you want. You also are going to need to go to hotels. So you'll look at, oh, I always go to Marriott, or I'm going to use points, or I got to look at the location that's most important to me. Then you're going to plan out which restaurant you're going to go to. If you've got kids like I do, we always pre-plan activities, like if they're going to swim with the dolphins. We don't want that to be sold out. So we have to look at all of these factors. So this is me interfacing as a consumer with flights, Expedia, interfacing with businesses to collect them for me. This is what everything looks like today. In an agent to agent world, this is what I think this will look like in the future. So you'll have a consumer AI agent that will be my agent. I will train it on my likes. I like American. I like Marriott. I like to go to the beach. I want a great location. It's more important to me than cost. It'll look at all of these different factors, and that's what it will rate and decide how it plans my trip. So there will be a flight agent, for example, that might interface with Expedia or Delta or American. There will be a hotel agent that will do similar things, restaurant agent, activity agent. So here's what you're going to get. You're going to get an agent working with a person, so A to C or A to P. You're going to have a flight agent that will exist out there. That's a business that's working with other businesses, so agent to agent, business to agents. And then you're going to see a lot of agent to agent communication as well that will be going on. So this is what I envision the new world looking like as we get more into agents. And I don't know if you guys saw just yesterday, Lovable, which is it's a coding assistant with AI. And what it does is they enable you to vibe code. So even if you can't code, you can use plain English and code. They've gone from 1 million to 100 million faster than any other company in history. Even more than OpenAI, the fastest in history. And they've just released the new Lovable agent as well that will hopefully pull all this stuff together too. So there's so many new announcements around agents. This space will speed up really, really rapidly. So I wanted to show you, first of all, an agent that I created. So I told you I wrote this book, AI First, Human Always. And one of the things I was thinking is with the book, you have to have your pen down 9 months in advance and think about how fast the space is going, right? It's going exponential. It's actually really hard right now to keep up with everything. And so what I wanted to do is to create an agent that went with the book so that I could share my new intelligence with people who wanted the book. I tried out 17 different platforms. We could do a whole class just on that, on what do the different AI agent platforms look like, how easy they are, which ones are good for what. But I decided to use, I'm using right now Operator from ChatGPT, OpenAI. I tried virtuals, I tried tons of them. And this one, what it does is I was able to train it on the book, which means you need to buy a copy of the book because the book is copyrighted in order to get the agent. And I write for Forbes. So all that new research is included. I write for the Digital Economist, which is part of the World Economic Forum. All of that research is included. So now you can come in and you can ask the agent questions about the book. Like which chapter do you want to hear about, or tell me the cost of the book, or tell me all the financial services examples that are in the book. But you can also say, hey, give me the following information that's brand new in the book as well. And I created this. It probably took me 3 hours to create this particular agent as well. So here you can see I'm working in healthcare. How can this book help me? And so it tells you all the different use cases currently in the book. And then it will give you excerpts from the book. And then you can go there if you want to look at the book as well. So behind the scenes, in order to have a great agent, there are a couple of things that are really important. One is data. Do you know and have the data that you need? Yesterday, I was working with a company and they're like, you know what we want, Sandy? We want to know why we're losing deals. And I said, you know what? That's a great one. Like to have an agent created to do an analysis of what are the main reasons for the loss. Are you tracking that in Salesforce? No. Do you use HubSpot instead? No. Are you tracking it like on a piece of paper? No. So is that a good opportunity for an agent? No, because you have no data. You don't have any understanding yourself. So you need to do a data reality check to make sure you have the data. So for my book agent, for example, I had obviously the whole book. I can feed into it Forbes articles. I can feed into it any new article or any new white paper I write for the World Economic Forum. So I had all the data. So that's one of the checks that you want to do. The second one is one that we found in a survey that I did for the book. I surveyed 1,500 companies and I asked them, would you guys consider yourselves successful with AI? Only 20% of companies came back and said that they felt like they were successful to meeting their goals with AI. So those 20% of people, I wanted to see what their goal was, if they met it, and then what did they do that was different from that 80% that was not successful? And the number one thing that I found was that those who were not successful decided to do an AI project versus focusing on doing a business project that used AI to get to the business outcome. So this is the second thing, is what is your business outcome? So like the agent that I wrote for Unstoppable for customer support, we were focused on answering questions outside of specific hours, making sure we're looking at low-hanging fruit, easy questions to answer, and making sure that we did not hurt our customer sat. We didn't want someone to say, oh, I don't even get to talk to a real person. So that was my business outcome. I didn't say, oh, I just want to do an agent. What can I do an agent with? I decided to try to supplement the headcount that I already had. And then the last thing that came out of that report, where we looked at people who were successful, and we found that those who were most successful as well really looked at and analyzed change readiness and the talent that they have. So I'll tell you one interesting story. So one company I was working with, They brought me in after the rollout. They spent 9 months developing a mood jacket. So if you remember the old mood rings that you'd put on and it would sense your mood, it's kind of like that, but it's a jacket that you would wear on the manufacturing floor. When you put this jacket in, it had IoT sensors in it, and it sensed your temperature. It tried to sense your mood. It sensed your tiredness level. And so they wanted to roll this out. The goal was really positive. They wanted to be able to adjust temperature, let people have breaks ahead of their normal every 2 hour schedule, play music if people needed to be pumped up. They really had good goal with it. And they were using AI to analyze the data that came in by region, by area, to decide, when do we change the temperature? When do we pump up the music? They spent 9 months getting that ready, but they rolled it out with any change readiness, any change management, meaning that they just told the managers, hey, this is coming. This was a factory in Malaysia. We're going to ask people to wear this jacket. Some managers, the best managers, explained why the jacket was being used, what the motive was, that the data was anonymous, it wasn't going to be used on their productivity. And those groups of people who had that explanation and had the change readiness and were asked to give input performed really well. And those that didn't, obviously it was not successful. So all of these things are going to be critical, just like normal for any project, but these things will be critical as you move forward as well. So now let's look at what the new org chart looks like with the background of, what is an agent? What types of agents do you see? What do some of the agents look like this customer support agent? I wanted to share this particular org chart with you. It is the org chart of a Fortune 50 company. I have changed, I've changed all the names on the org chart, so you can't tell who it is. They don't want me to reveal who it is, but they wanted me to help them with their marketing team. Now, some of the first questions we asked were, what do you want to do with the team? And what the goal was to really increase the effectiveness of the team, because they did not have they didn't have enough money to hire new people. So they wanted to supplement the current team with AI to try to help them, really punch above their weight. So what we decided to do is look at the current team. So let's just say Megan here is the head of marketing. So this was for marketing. And then Morgan had 4 people working for her. And these are all people that were working for her in this particular marketing organization. And you can see they're doing normal things, right? Product marketing, brand, demand gen, digital marketing. And those people had marketing people working for them. So here you can see brand management, product marketing, all the normal types of roles that you would expect in an organization. So I came in to talk to them about what they wanted to achieve and where their pain points were. Where were their choke points? Where could they use extra resource? And also, frankly, where did they think that a computer-led model or an AI-led model might be better? So you can see down here are some of the agents that came out of that. So for example, and I love Star Wars. So here you have the Darth GPT, which is a landing page optimizer. If you know marketing, you come up with a landing page for a campaign and you route everything there. Well, how to optimize that? There's a set of guidelines you can use. There's data that they had based on the best landing pages. So they had good data. They had a choke point. They also were looking at things like, if you look at here, Chewy was a campaign performance analyzer. So again, they knew data about how their campaigns were performing. And what they wanted to do is just to analyze it, to put up the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so as we started looking at this organization, we started developing choke points, looking at where they had really good workflow, looking at where they had really good data, and started to develop an idea of where different agents could play a role in their overall structure. And so here you can see we added 11 agents to their team. And one of the things that we found early on is at first they didn't have names. They were just like agents or tools. And one of the guys on the product marketing team said, if I had hired somebody, I would have called them Fred or Sam or David. So let's give them names. So they actually gave them names. It's part of change management, obviously, looking at how the teams will adapt. And they gave each of these names and abilities and had these guys shared across the different functions. So we built the toolkit, we trained the team, we guided them, and then we also ensured that we had responsible AI. So even though Darth Vader was doing the landing page optimization, we always had a human in the loop at different phases to ensure that we were looking at the right data, that there weren't hallucinations, et cetera. So this is what the organization looked like with a combination of humans with these new AI as teammates. I will tell you, since I built this org chart out with them, we've now added a total of 45 agents. So they've grown from 11 agents to 45 agents in this particular team. You guys all with me so far? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay. And so I think the real big breakthrough came when we went from having the team say, how do I use AI to do my job faster? I just want to do my job faster, to what role will I have or should I have if AI does all these things that I don't frankly really want to do and that AI could do better. And so here, you're kind of seeing this, we're moving from chatbot to having some reasoning to having agents, but still the innovation and the orchestration is done by humans across the board. But I think this is really important. How do I use AI to do my job better? To what is my new role? What does it look like? And then this was what we developed, and this is just for one particular role. So this is the growth marketing leader's role. This is what she had done before: manage the campaign execution, coordinate between teams, create the campaign briefs. To now that we have all these agents, we went from 11 to 45 agents. What can her role be now? And so here you see she's orchestrating human to AI campaign ecosystems. She's designing workflows. She's building teammates that can now, what they were doing originally is just doing one audience. Now she's doing those to adapt to different types of audiences, different industries. And so now her role has also evolved. And this particular team now has some of the highest morale or opinion survey data is with this team, because all the stuff that's kind of hard, manual, that you really don't want to do has now been given to these AI agents as a teammate. Let me just pause for a second. Was there a question that I saw pop up, or was there one? Everett?
Yeah. What was the timeline between first engaging to rolling this out?
So now this team is a really great team. Let me just tell you that. So when we first met to when we rolled out the first set of 11 agents, we took 60 days. And that was because Morgan, understood, it's not her real name, but she understood that she wanted to get her team empowered. She included her team. She wanted to make sure they had the right workflow, the right data, et cetera. And then we had to build the agents. And we did that with her team as well. So it was 60 days for the new 11 agents to be added. She's now been executing this since we rolled it out for 6 months, and has since built, now the team is self-sufficient. They're building their own agents. That's how they went from 11 to 45. And now they have a whole bunch of new teammates on the team.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Was there another question that I saw pop up?
Sandy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, this is Ron. So did you use Operator from ChatGPT, OpenAI to build this?
So I used Operator to build my agent for my book. We actually, so this particular company, it's a Fortune 50 company, and they actually have a platform that they've chosen. It's Microsoft. So we actually use the Microsoft tooling here because they had already selected the main tool that they wanted to use across the board. So they could have consistency. And again, they're a Fortune 50 company, so they had paid for everything Microsoft.
What is that tool though? What's that name? I mean, is it the same is it the same technology that they've licensed from OpenAI?
So I don't know if you saw yesterday, they just announced a new tool. We were actually, because they were a Fortune 50 company, we were actually testing that tool in beta ahead of time.
Okay.
And I think it announced yesterday. I just want to make sure because I don't want to say, I don't want to give anything away if they haven't announced it, but
Yeah,
I
it's
think
available to paid users.
it
Yes,
is.
yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because I don't want to accidentally say something that is not
They don't,
um
they don't call it operator, they call it
Is it Copilot?
no,
mm,
this is OpenAI's. It's not called operator, it's a simple, it's called
It's called
agent.
agent.
It's
Agent.
called agent, yeah, that's right.
It's just called Agent.
yeah, they did. They announced it yesterday at Build, and they've now embedded it into Windows 11 for what they're doing. And they also, we also use Copilot Studio. That was also included in here. And then the agent was something we also used. So we used a combination of all those from Microsoft. And we were using the beta version because we had been given, well, they had been given access to it.
Okay, and it's just called Agent. That's it.
Agent and then
Copilot Studio.
Copilot Studio. Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you
Mhm.
have any sense if the lovable coding assistant is better than this stuff? I know it was just released, the lovable, right? Just
I actually just read an article on it. So I got early access to Lovable and I love Lovable. So and there's
what
a
do you
sorry,
think it might be better than the one that you used for this?
I think it's easier.
Easier. Okay.
And so,
So
Ron, we're all going to stay around post the breakout sessions for deeper dive questions. This would be a great one to pick up
Sure. Great.
um,
yeah,
Thank you.
sorry.
in about an hour. So,
Yeah.
Sandy, I want to be mindful of your talk track. How many more
I
slides?
just have a couple more slides left. Yeah, I
Please
just wanted to
continue.
yeah, sorry about that. I got too excited about the questions. Thank you, Matthew. So what I wanted to show you, this is another platform I love. I have like 17 or 18 that I really like. This is called AI Explain, and it is a no-code agentic AI platform. And I worked this out with Matthew, so I videoed it so that I recorded it. Sorry, recorded it so I could show it to you just in case. But let me give you the premise is that I get a ton of requests from my customers in WhatsApp. And they'll say to me, hey, could we meet tomorrow at 3? Could we meet Friday at 4? And so what I wanted was I wanted to see if I could write an AI agent just to help me manage that. And because I just wanted to show you how easy it is to write a very simple agent if you haven't done it. So this is with the AI Explain tool. It's called Belle Esprit. And I just wanted to show you because it's kind of like Lovable. It's really, really nice English language. So here you can say I've asked it to build an agent that will take my voicemail messages from WhatsApp and add it to my Google Calendar. It asks me questions like, how do you want to handle calendar conflict? Say if there's a conflict, ask me. And then this is one of the things I love about it. It will say, you need these 4 pieces of technology. And I'll be like, I don't know if I have it. So it identifies, hey, I don't have the Google Calendar API. And then it whips it up super fast and it's now going to test it. So I've given it access to my WhatsApp. It's going to listen to the message. And someone's asking me to go shopping. So this is actually a fun one. And then it's going to come to my calendar and it will add it to my calendar like that. And that's it. It was done. And I know that's super simple. It's not like the one we did for Fortune 50, but I just wanted you to show it. I wanted to show it to you because I feel like us as leaders, as CEOs, we need to be able to play storm, right? We need to be able to touch the code and do it as well as just talk about doing it too, or let our teams do it, you know? And then I was also working with NTT Data. I just wanted to show you this because I thought this was amazing. One of the things we worked out is for every new hire, they have to go through training. So, so that every single employee at NTT Data, which is hundreds of thousands of employees, are trained. So, because all of them are going to be using AI agents. So they get a white belt, they get a yellow belt, they get a brown belt, they get a black belt. I think I skipped the red belt. Anyway, they get all of that as they go through that training. And then I just wanted to make sure you knew that there are also now enterprise AI agent marketplaces. So this is one you can see here. This is a bank teller. This is a student loan agent. You can see wealth management, doctor, therapist agents. I just saw that Amazon, I used to work for Amazon, they just announced their agent marketplace. So if you have something that is repeatable, maybe not part of your extreme differentiation, you can also now go and just buy an agent, almost like the Apple App Store allowed us to do that in the past. Okay, we already showed you that. Okay, this is my last slide. So kind of my advice here would be, first, as you're looking at adding agents to your org chart, identify your choke points. What's slowing you down? Like, you know, what is everybody always waiting for? And your opportunity. Wow, if I had an agent that could do customer support, I wouldn't have to hire people and I could serve my customers 24/7. But you have to have the data and you've got to have the workflow. So it's not magic. It's not going to create data for you. Like, I don't know why I lost, but you figure it out. And you also need a repeatable workflow, which is what I worked on with that Fortune 50 company. And then my advice, unless you are an enterprise and you've got a corporate mandate, like the one I showed you was mandated to use Microsoft, I would prioritize tools with open APIs so that you can work across workflows. And in case the one you bet on doesn't come out to be the winner a year from now, you can switch more easily. So those would be the 3 tools. So I hope this was helpful. I think it was a great experiment. And now I'm seeing tons of people, including AI agents, as teammates. So I just wanted to share that, that kind of case study and make sure everybody was on the same page.